I think I'll go ahead and nominate this guy for Father of the Year. He is by far one of the funniest and most creative dads out there. He's also a Volkswagen lover, so that doesn't hurt either. His 3-year-old daughter had grown out of her crib and needed a new bed. He came across some free items on Craigslist and used some things he already had in his garage to make her one of the coolest beds I've ever seen. When all was said and done, he ended up spending $100 out of pocket. When you see the end result, you won't believe it. I would pay at least 10 times that for this bed. It was modeled after a Type 2. He ended up being able to use a lot of Super Beetle parts. He knew that other people have built beds that look like a VW bus, but he wanted a cheaper way to do it that would leave him with some options later, in case it wasn't his daughter's thing. So he built his to sort of hang from a metal frame bunk bed with removable panels. He dremeled out some 4x4 posts to fit the legs because it needed to be taller. He used a 2x4 frame to hold the posts in place. He then used 2x3 framing for the bus bed shape. Eventually, the sides would bolt to the 2x4 bottom frame and be held to the bunk bed's metal posts at the top with U-bolts. The bottom of what he called the bumper box, which will eventually hold the dashboard, electronics, and steering wheel as well, just hooks to the front of the bed. The attached doors on one side using simple hardware store hinges. He cut holes for the windows and added a little eyebrow in the front for an added effect. The wheels came as pre-cut circles at a big box store. Looking good. Here it is with the wheels removed and a little filler piece added to the front to close the gap between the bumper box and side panels. Then there was some sanding, and a little more sanding. You get the idea. He then spray painted the top rack silver, painted the wood with a coat of primer, then used on-hand paints for the two-tone look. It was then masked out with tape. Here's a look at the interior, looking mighty fine. Inside, he mounted a plywood dashboard onto a piano hinge so he could put a bunch of stuff underneath for lights and sounds. He felt like it looked like a bit of a rat's nest of wiring. It was the guts of a $3 thrift shop plastic driving toy and an old speedometer. I think it was pretty smart thinking. Anyone that works on old VWs will tell you that sometimes you have to get creative. This bunk bed was no different. Headlights were some cheap puck lights from a big box store, switched on by the dashboard. A coat of stain was applied to make the dash look nice. He added a kiddo-sized hammock, which he said was something he wanted, and then his daughter ended up loving it. Score! This VW emblem was ordered online on a silver sticker stock. He painted a circle behind it and put it on very carefully. His wife added the ribbon. The buttons make the driving sound effects, as does the horn in the middle of the steering wheel. Little LEDs go off inside the speedometer too. Perfect additions. A couple of side pockets from the Super Beetle pile framed in. Good for books or stuffed animals. They took it outside for the birthday party. All the kids at the party played on it, and it passed the test. A look at the panels when detached. Much simpler than building a whole bunk bed. Inside view. The fabric squares were put on by his wife with spray adhesive. Moved back inside and getting put back together. Perfect fit. He said that she still sleeps in it today, going on 6 years old. I'm going to be honest with you. I want an adult-sized one. I guess an adult version would be along the lines of a Vanagon. I bet all the kids on the block are jealous. I know I am. It's definitely one of a kind, and no one else will ever have the same one. I wonder what they'll do with it when she grows out of it. Do you think they'll sell it or keep it? If you like Volkswagens, take a look at what this guy did to his Volkswagen Beetle. It turns heads everywhere it goes.